Welcome to Wayward Writers. I'm senior literary agent and author Heather Cashman.
I'm author and writing coach Stephanie Bierce.
And I'm author and writing coach Nikki Jacobsmeyer.
Our mission is to nurture and enrich established writers throughout their publishing journeys.
We welcome all genres, age groups, and publishing paths through video podcasts, online webinars, in-person retreats, and more.
We're here to help you conquer your path.
Welcome, everybody, to this, our 50th episode of Wayward Writers. We are so happy to have you with us, new or still, or whenever you happen to listen to this. We are so grateful to have you. I just want to start out by expressing my gratitude, which, a couple years ago when I started thinking about this idea, I was in a place where I was feeling very isolated. I was felt isolated in my writing. I felt isolated as an agent. I felt like I didn't really have much of a community. Something happens when you become an agent, which is that a lot of your writer friends try to get you to agent them, or things happen. Things happen and it changes your relationship. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, anyways, I had gotten to that point. And so for me, this podcast was a way to reconnect. And so I just want to first express my gratitude to Stephanie and Nikki, and that you said yes to my crazy idea.
We love your crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Stephanie, why did you say yes?
Well, because it's
you're
Heather.
Not an agent. Yeah, right.
Because it's Heather and she's fun. I don't know. I love taking on new adventures. And this one has definitely been an adventure. I have learned so much. Some things I didn't want to learn, mainly technology. But yes,
tech struggles are real.
The tech struggles are horrible, and we won't go into those. But so any of you out there that have technology struggles anywhere along the way, you have our deep sympathy.
We see you.
We hear you, we feel you. But I've just loved building a community and getting to meet so many amazing people that we've talked to this year. Oh my gosh, it's just made my year wonderful. So I thank everybody for listening, but I thank everybody who came and talked to us and has shared with us. It's been phenomenal. It's been really a blessing. How about you, Nikki? Yeah. Why'd you say yes?
I said yes because I feel like I'm still this newbie to writing, and I was given this opportunity to be with my mentor, Stephanie, whether she wanted to be or not, through our critique group, and Heather, who's been a dear friend and fellow writer through the years. We were friends, and I know Stephanie was too before she was an agent. So there was no ulterior motives. But I was just like, oh my goodness, I get to learn from these two women and the people they know and the connections they can make because of their name and their reputation and their work. And I get to be a part of that. Like, to me, it was a no-brainer. And it has exceeded those expectations in the past 49 episodes. I've learned conference-worthy plus.
Oh, yeah.
Master's program knowledge for free. And I hope you, as our listeners, have felt that, because that was our mission. And so for me, this has just been like just a ride of a lifetime. And I feel like we've been blessed that you're still here listening and people say yes to be guests on our podcast. So
yeah, we're grateful.
Double win, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to kind of talk this 50th episode about where we've been and where we want to go. Heather, tell us a little bit about what you have loved. What's been a couple of your favorite things about this last year?
First of all, the best part of it has been finding a community for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just, I think I said this before on a different podcast, but I struggle with social media. For me, it's very hard to get on. I actually have this little change purse, and it says I must be a mermaid because I don't like shallow swimming and I'm not afraid of deep waters.
Oh, I like that.
And the idea is that that's just me. Like, if I'm not all in on a relationship, then I'm usually not in at all. So, social media is very difficult for me in that way because I like these deeper connections and I feel like social media is very surface level.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is a way that I feel like I can build a community of people who I actually connect with on a deep level. And the people that we've had on the podcast, a lot of them, you know, I've kept in touch with, and some of them are now my critique partners.
So
and
cool.
you know, I feel like we have been successful at building a community of people who are real and true. And so that has to be my number one. And then the other thing is, I've really loved being challenged in my way of thinking about writing, in my way of thinking about editing, in my way of thinking about the publishing industry. I've loved hearing other people's perspectives on it. I feel like knowledge is truly the power that helps us get through this industry. And so the more knowledge that we can have, the better we're going to be at writing and editing and publishing and marketing and all the things that we try and highlight here on Wayward Writers. So I think for me, that has got to be the second thing. Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah, and I think kind of what you're saying as far as the community, like in the beginning, back in our early teens episodes, a lot of those people we knew and they were already part of our community, right? And we wanted to publicize their work and support them, but also learn from their wisdom. And especially the last half of the year, they're people that we don't know, right? Because they've been recommended by previous guests. And everyone's coming on their free will, right? No one's getting paid here. No. And I'm being really candid here, but I just want everyone to take that moment as we're in the holiday season and whatever that means to you. Like 49 episodes, people came to share their wisdom because they wanted to, because they wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves, because someone helped them along the way. And sometimes I think it's important that we're reminded that we are in an industry that wants to support each other. And that's not in every industry. And I am just in awe that we made it to 50th. Honestly, on that, like, we're not overly attractive people. We're not like.
What are you saying, Nikki?
I'm just saying, like, we're normal people like anyone else. And we just asked, would you share your journey? Would you share your wisdom? And like over 49 people have said yes. Like, we're coming back next year, y'all, for 2025. We're coming back for season 3. And that's because of you, our listeners, and you, authors and creators and editors and publishers that are willing to share in this journey. And I think that is a magical thing.
It is. Yeah, people's generosity, and they're willing to share their expertise and their knowledge with us, and not just with us, but with listeners. And I think that's what builds strong community. And I'm just so happy that we did make it to 50, but I feel like now we're just starting. We're just, we're ready to build more community. do some more exciting things.
I agree. There's so much I want to learn.
I know.
There's so much more to learn.
I know.
And
So many
to
awesome people that we want to talk to.
And we want to hear what you all want to learn.
Yes.
Like when we say that, we're for real. Please email us. Please respond on social
Yes.
media. We want to know what you want to learn because we don't know what we don't know. We're all learning here. And I think we just want to continue to lock arms to conquer this path that we're all on, whatever it might be, and it might be changing. I know Stephanie and my path might look a little different next year, and like it's exciting and terrifying all at the same time. We are totally with you. We have all the feels.
We are in the trenches, in the writing trenches, and Heather is too. Heather's an author
Absolutely.
in addition to being an agent. So we definitely feel all the stuff that you guys feel.
YA sci-fi crashed and burned on sub this year, so
see, I know
we all face that, don't we?
We do. We all face
So
it too many times.
yeah, and it's tough to know. Is it a pivot, like a revision situation, or is it a pause and submission situation? And why?
No, it's a I have to rewrite it for the adult market now decision.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I can do a lot to it and I can elevate it, and I'm actually really excited.
That's actually
I'm
probably
really excited to do that.
easier than the alternative.
Oh, I think it's all hard. But
can I take a minute as friends?
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that you, as an agent, are an author, and you, as an author, have an agent, and your agent has said to you, after we've been on sub, the best course of action I would recommend is to elevate this to an adult market. And I don't know after how long you've stewed, thought about it, but your response is, you're right. I'm going to elevate it to an adult market. And that trust in an agent author relationship is like gold. We all strive to have, if we're wanting an agent and we acquire an agent, to be able to have that trust to be like, oh, sure, no problem. I'll rewrite my 80K YA novel to become an adult. I mean, that's a change. I mean, no, it's not.
It's a big change.
Picture book
it's a complete
adult,
rewrite.
but it's a complete rewrite. But that,
it is.
That you have that faith that, you know what, I see that now. And sometimes that takes time, right? We have to maybe throw a fit, eat a lot of chocolate, drink a lot of wine. I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it is that you do, right? But like, and sometimes we don't land there. Sometimes we're like, no, I don't want to do that. And that's okay too. For those of you that are like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't see that vision. Good for you, because you are the author. But I also think it's great to have an open mind and entertain another possibility and see where that lands. Because that's a big rewrite. Big rewrite. But you sound excited about it. Like, oh, I get to do this and this.
I think that when you get feedback, I think this happens all the time. You get the feedback and you're like, I hate it.
Yeah.
And then you stew over it.
Who's saying I hate it?
Oh, I do that. I don't say it.
I don't like that feedback.
Not editors. You're saying yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Like, oh, I don't like your feedback. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to sleep, and then your brain does all this magic in the back of it. And then you wake up in the morning and you have all these ideas that wrap around this idea that you were given. And I think that if you can just let your mind be open to that, that's what happens with me anyways. And then I started getting all of these really exciting ideas. Oh, if this is adult, like I could do this. I could have these themes really punch up, and I could make this a bit darker, and I could make this like some more adult humor in here. And you start getting all of these really amazing ideas. if you allow yourself to be open to it. And when I was writing it the first time, I love the world. I love the characters. I love being there. So me diving back into that space is actually fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I love that. And so initially I think it's fine to be like, no, I'm not doing that, or I hate that, or that's too hard. That's the main thing it is for me. It's not that I hate the ideas, it's that,
It's
oh,
hard.
that's too hard. That is too much work. I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that, whatever it is, all of the above. I think that you just have to give yourself time, and you have to let your brain do some work too, and you have to live some life, and you have to get ideas, and then you can hit the ground running.
Well, and you don't know what that return is going to be on the hard work. And I
No,
think it's easy to be like, well, the only good return is a contract. But it's really not the only good return. Right? Yes, that would
right.
be the preferred return. It would be
Yeah, of
not
course.
even, let's be honest, the contract isn't even a sealed deal. How about in print, the ARC?
Right.
Maybe then you actually have some security. But there is a return on a rewrite. There is.
Absolutely.
How many of us, I know we all could tell a story about how we rewrote a manuscript for so many different markets, and then finally it's going to get published. I mean, you just
Or it's
never
not,
know.
but or
Or
it's
it's
Or it's
not,
not.
not.
and it's
Good.
okay. Because I
Yes.
have one that I loved and I wrote and rewrote,
Yes.
and I've declared it dead to Heather.
Aww.
No, it's okay.
I do love
Yes, she
that
I
did.
have.
manuscript.
It's okay though, because
Hmm.
of that manuscript, I've had lots of other opportunities, and you get it out there and somebody's like, "Oh, I like her writing. Does she have something else?"
Mhm.
And
Correct.
so not everything
Yeah.
that you write, even if it's somewhat decent, is going to get a contract. But it doesn't mean
Even if it's stellar,
it just it's part of the learning
it's
process.
may not.
So
Yeah.
it's never wasted, and that's a hard thing.
Mm-mm.
But
Well, it's practice. And
it is.
I mean, that sounds terribly annoying and cliche, but I think of my kids, like how much have they had to practice, whether it was their instrument or their sport,
Right. 10,000
to
hours, isn't it,
be
to become an
first
expert?
string, right? So, how many rejections did they get, right? We're all learning this.
We've been learning in this whole year in our
Yes.
Wayward Writers community. I know I've learned so much from talking to different people, and I've been encouraged. I know Nikki and I were talking about different things. I've been encouraged. One of the things that we're going to try and do some classes next year and
Yeah.
offer those for people. We've got a retreat coming up that's almost sold out by the time
Yeah.
this is. So we only have a couple slots left. Come join us. You can
Yeah.
talk to
Sign
us in
up. We want you
person.
there. Yep.
So that's pretty exciting. But I think some of this has actually affected my writing too, because like Heather was saying, there's things that I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so now I've written lots of kids' books. I kind of want to step my toe into that adult pond,
Yes.
the big, big, big adult pond. And I may drown, but it'll sure be fun trying to swim in it, right?
You won't
Yeah,
drown,
I don't
but
know.
yes.
Maybe I will. So I think it's fun to see. It's always fun to stretch and grow.
Hmm.
And this podcast is encouraging me to stretch and grow in new
Hmm.
ways. And that's fun and it's exciting. I love trying new things.
It was fun.
It
Absolutely.
is.
And I think just for all you listening, like the three of us have work and contracted books in the children's market, and all three of us are writing also in the adult market in 2025. And it's the first time. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
I will only speak for myself. I am so excited and so terrified at the same time. I read thrillers nonstop. That's almost all I read. I love it. I read what I'm writing also, but like adult thrillers are my jam. And I'm getting ready to dip into that market with
Yay.
my agent's support. And I'm super excited. And also, I'm like,
I know.
you know, right?
Yeah.
But I'm doing it because I don't want any regrets
Yeah.
at all. So we just encourage you to do the same,
Yeah.
whatever that is, whether you're indie or hybrid or traditional. Share your fears with us because we see you, we get them. This does not end. There is no point in your publishing career that this stops. I mean, even when you ask the bigwigs, the household names, they're still wondering, am I better than my last novel? Like, do I still have it? And I think that's just part of who we
Well, and
are
the
as
ideas keep
writers.
coming too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the exciting
So
part, isn't it?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
keep
To
coming.
play.
I have so many ideas.
I know.
It's fun to
What do you do
play.
with all of them? Where do you have notebooks? What do you guys do with all your ideas?
A lot of times I just email myself the idea
Uh-huh.
because I am somewhere. And then I email myself the idea and then I take it and dump it into a Word document. And then I have all of my Word documents in a folder for the future.
Yeah.
That's great. It's better than scribbling them on something and then losing the paper and then making your husband try and reiterate, what did I tell you I was going to
Yeah.
write about? That doesn't work good. Don't do that one.
I used to do that and it
It
doesn't
does.
work for
Yeah, it
me.
doesn't work. I've tried that. I have to get a better system. I have a notebook.
I have a notebook
Yeah.
also, and it's divided in like fiction, nonfiction, adult, children's.
But do you carry that notebook into the grocery store with
I
you?
do.
Yeah.
I carry
It
it
goes
in
with
my
me
Good. Well,
almost
purse.
then that
everywhere.
I'm that weird person. And when someone
Me too.
carries my purse for me, like if my kid or my husband slings it, they're like, what's in here? A dead body. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea for a book. But no, it's heavy and clunky. And honestly, sometimes I get anxiety when I don't have it with me, in which case I text or email myself. And as soon as I get home where the notebook is, I have to put it in there. So I don't know. It's just,
I know everybody has to do
Whatever works.
their own thing. I have one of
yeah.
those
Yeah.
tool notebooks, but the
Oh,
TUL.
yes,
Oh my
I
gosh.
love the tool
So I have had
pen.
the same notebook forever because you can take the papers out
Yes.
and replace them. And
Wait, what is this?
it's called Tool. There are other kinds, but it's better than a 3-ring binder because you don't have the clicky thing, but you can take the pages out and add pages. And so I write all the
Oh.
ideas and then I can have a folder that I put them in and then I can transcribe everything onto the computer. But then I
Mhm.
just always have
Oh.
new ideas going
I've
into
never
it.
heard of this notebook. I
So
need
it's
to figure
called
out what it
Tool, Tul, and they make the most
Yeah,
amazing
the
pens,
pens
which
too.
I
I'm sorry.
love
No,
them.
they are not sponsoring us, but they could. Please
No,
do.
they're not, but
But they are
that
my
is a
favorites.
hashtag 2025 goal.
Yes,
Okay,
right.
is. Okay,
so
no, I have a tool pen.
Oh, they're
I
okay, so
have a
wonderful.
they
tool pen.
only come from
But
Office Max,
Yeah.
and they also have a line of
Notebooks.
journals, notebooks
okay,
that you can get.
interesting.
The
They're
tool
the
pen
Interesting.
best.
is supreme,
Well,
and they come in all colors. They come
I
in
know.
special editions when you want to celebrate something, as you should. You should celebrate all things, y'all.
Yeah.
Like,
I
honestly.
have to just throw in that my favorite pen
Yes.
is from Tom's Studio
What's that?
because they last forever. I write a lot
Yeah, you do.
in by hand. And so, like, I was finding that well, for one thing, I guess maybe this is apparent from living in an RV and being a minimalist, but I have this kind of goal in life to minimize the buying that I do
Uh-huh.
and the like disposable, like, I don't like disposable
Yeah.
things, right?
Yep.
So, these pens, you basically buy the pen and you buy the little like ink
And you
holder
could
and you
Okay.
can refill
Yeah.
it in the ink and then you have all these different tips. It's all changeable and it's all super durable. They last forever. Like the tips last a long time. You just keep refilling the little things. You can wash them out. Anyways,
Cool.
Tom's Studio and the Lumos pen is the one that I
Okay.
use exclusively. Like that's
How do you
what
spell
I use.
Lumos?
Lumos.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we
We're
will
gonna
be sure to tag them in this so they know. I want to go back to something you said, Heather. You said that, which I think is a common thing. I know I do struggle with social media because it doesn't feel like that deep connection, which I would agree. However, I want to speak to someone who struggles with mental health. And I will say, when I am struggling and I can't make a deep connection, sometimes seeing a post that might seem shallow and insignificant to one person is life changing for me in that moment. You never know what your words can do for another person.
Mhm.
So be selective, but also be gracious and give that, because something that you think might be totally insignificant might make someone else feel like they can keep going.
Mhm.
And I think that can also be the beauty of social media, when everyone has the respect and responsibility of what you're doing when you post something.
Mhm.
I think
Um,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I also have this kind of like issue of like when I put something out there, it has to be brilliant. And I know
yeah.
that's not actually true because I see a lot of things on social media that are not brilliant, but the point is that it's hard sometimes because you put a lot of weight. I put a lot of weight on what I put out.
Mhm.
And so I feel like whenever I put something out there, it has to be stellar or amazing. Or I'm also occasionally afraid to share my opinion
so. Yeah.
because
That's
I feel
fair.
like it won't be popular. And
Yeah.
I have seen horrible, horrible things. That's another thing is I've been traumatized by social media
That's fair.
because of, I mean, serious trauma. Like I feel like I have experienced serious trauma on social
We
media
have, haven't we,
because
Nikki?
of
Lost a
Well, I
lost a
things.
whole
mean,
agency.
yeah, Stephanie and
Yes.
I lost, yeah, I mean, we get that.
We get
I
it.
mean, it can be a
Vicious.
blessing and a curse. That's
Yeah.
why your responsibility of what you post, you got to think
Yeah.
about it,
I
right?
like
Because
that you
Mhm.
do think about it,
yeah,
Heather. I think
do.
that's important
Yeah,
because yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You can it's easy to misread or misconstrue meaning,
Yeah.
and especially
Yes.
yeah, so you do have to be careful.
well, and what do they say? I really like this. Think twice, speak once.
Mm.
When you think you want to do something, give it another beat before you do
Mhm.
it, because we've all seen things on social media that are a product of someone's first thought. And
Yeah.
someone's first thought can really impact someone else's in a different way, right? And so that's something to think about. But when you're encouraging someone and elevating your client or a critique partner or another fellow author that you don't even know, that's
Mhm.
what this community should be about. And I know that's what
Yeah.
we're about, because we're all on this journey, right? And sometimes it can get lonely, and but it is so fun and so rewarding, especially when we have other people to link arms with.
Yeah. Another thing I wish that authors took more time to do is give reviews to each
Oh,
other.
yes.
Agreed.
Yes,
I
please.
like not 3-star reviews either. I mean,
Right.
like if you can't say something good, then
Yes.
Yeah, your
don't.
mother's old adage. You can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yes. I would totally agree with
Yeah,
that.
I vote with Thumper. But
I would
anyways,
agree. Yeah, and
um,
even if it's the rule of three, like sometimes if I feel like I'm short on time, review something and give 3 words that you felt while you were reading it. It's 3 words.
mhm,
Like, it's
mhm,
an exercise for yourself, anyways. Use your adjectives. And that we all know what reviews do, whether we're traditionally or indie published. They're huge, and it's a great way to build community. So,
It is.
yeah. And also, I think one of the reasons that authors don't review other authors is that they feel like they're the competition.
mm,
But okay, yes, maybe someone's going to go into the bookstore and they're going to say in this one particular time, I want this book instead of this book.
mhm.
And in that small way, yes, you're competition. However, it's very rare, I think, that when you really want to read a book, you don't eventually read it, right?
Right.
And like a lot of it is through libraries. And so I feel like if you build relationships with other authors, then you're going to naturally cross
Oh,
pollinate,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So to me, that is another huge advantage of community and sincere
Yes.
community. I'm not talking about like, you know,
No, I think that's
let's all get on Twitter and follow each other because we want 1,000 followers each. To me, that's you're not going to sell those people books.
no,
Hmm.
and I think that's one of
But
the things. It's like getting to know people that are in your genre too is really
Hmm.
important, because if somebody loves reading romance stories, they are not just going to read your romance story. You
No.
can't crank
exactly,
out enough books for that one person.
exactly.
I love cozy mysteries. I have to read a variety of authors because I read them way faster than anyone can write them. So you supporting and knowing other cozy authors or thriller
Yeah.
writers or whatever it is, you're going to help each other, and you're going to be helping your readers too, because they're going to, oh, I love reading hers. And if you're recommending somebody else's work, it just really does cross pollinate and
Yeah.
supports each other and helps your readers too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, build community, get to know those other authors out there. It's fun too.
For
Yeah.
sure. And from
So
a
how do you do that? Like, I want to know how, because see, this is something that as an agent, it would be very weird for me, I feel, to go onto a Facebook group of other authors and
I
be
don't
like, hi, I'm
I
gonna,
yeah,
honestly,
that's fair.
the way I have met, and I have some really fun critique groups and some people that, and I've met them all in person, because once in a while it will happen
Hmm.
that you'll get to
That's
meet
interesting.
somebody virtually. It does happen. But usually if you have a personal connection with somebody, I've met a lot of people that I work with in critique groups or work with other authors by being at a conference, being at a workshop or something, and finding, oh, this is someone I would love to work with. And
Hmm.
often you'll go to something and you'll be in a critique group with some people. I've got a critique
Hmm.
group that we met a few years ago. The four of us were put into a critique group, and we've just kept it going. We do it virtually, but we were all in Canada, is where we met, and we're from all over the United States. And so to me, that's how I meet people. And it's exciting and really fun. Um,
mhm,
because then you get to know their personality. But it's hard when you can't always meet in person. The other way is to do Zoom kind of things where you're meeting with a group, and that's where I've got to meet a
mhm.
lot of people too. But the groups that I work with that I've have stuck together for, years at a time are ones that I have met in person.
Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of people meeting other authors on Facebook
Hmm.
groups and things like that.
Yeah. It's also like, I know you. Who do you know and who do I know that we each trust
Yeah.
that could come together to form a bigger group?
Hmm.
I've done that too, which has been online. I have an accountability and critique partner, which those are two different things.
Yes, they are.
And my accountability partner writes different genres and formats than I do. We still read each other's work because we read in that. But our main goal is, what is your goal this week? And we hold each other accountable. And she's in New Jersey and I'm in Missouri. Now, have I met her in person? Yes. We both were regional advisors through SEBWI. So I know her personality. I know she's going to be kind but honest. And that's what I want because I don't have time for the rest. That's where I am in my career. I'm going to try to make you better, try to make me better, and let's go. Not that her critiques aren't important to me because they are, but she is there more to be like, well, why didn't you do that? What excuses are you making? Maybe we need to adjust and things like that. So I think those are two different things. So every week we give each other, this is our goal, whatever it is. It can be super small. And sometimes it is like, this is going on in my life. So my goal is to send one query out, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the goal. And then we tell each other what our reward is. It could be something from a slice of cake to a mani-pedi to an extra hour of sleep, whatever. And that is our role for each other. And it has been really beneficial. And I feel super connected to her
Yeah.
halfway across the country, and I miss her terribly. But those are also things to think about. There are critique groups, which are super important. If you're not part of a critique group, find one. If you need help finding one, reach out to us.
Yeah, let
We
us
can
know. We
give
might be
you
able to connect you
resources.
with some people.
It's really hard. I know I've been in terrible critique groups where I'm like, we are really all here to tell each other how terrible writers we are. That's what we're doing here. We're coming here every week to do this. And it depends what you're looking for, too. It depends what your goals are. Let me say that,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but the people in your critique group should have the same goals
Absolutely.
Agree.
as a career
Yes.
in publishing
Agreed.
or
And
whatever.
same
Yeah.
if you decide to have an accountability group or a partner. The goal, at least for us, is to improve, to get better, to get traditionally published. And I think partnering up is huge. And sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that can be really hard. But I feel like it's harder to do it on your own.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's very
Yeah.
difficult.
Community is so important. So shall we talk
And
a little
we,
shall we
yeah,
shall we talk a little bit about what's coming up for next year for Wayward Writers?
we're super excited for 2025. This has been an amazing year. We want to thank each and every one of you for listening, whether you've been with us from the first, you're just tuning in, you're listening against your will. Welcome. We're all in this together. Sometimes we're kicking and screaming, but um, honestly, we want to hear from you what you're looking for. We want to fill the need, but some things looking forward for 2025. We have 2 slots left. Don't know when this airs, if they'll be there or not, but please inquire for our April retreat in Branson, Missouri, targeted towards children's publishing. We've got people coming from all across the country. This is a way to connect with new writers, new eyes, new faces, and connect. You've got your rooms. You can go hole up and have your own quiet time because we totally get that, whether you're an extrovert or introvert. We are looking forward to a fall conference that is going to happen in September that is going to be targeted towards the adult market. And that will be in Utah. More details to come.
And I'm so
And
excited too.
I
I'm so
know it's
excited
going to
because we're
be,
going to get to meet people in person. I'm so excited.
I
So
know.
excited.
Hey, in person, get your pants on. That's
Come
where it's
see
at.
us. I'm so excited. Really am.
And we are working on a new website. Thank you all for your patience. We are trying to get this so it is user friendly, but also informative. We have classes on soon too. So you can dive into what you're looking for when you're looking for it. Lots more to come. We'd love to hear from you. Absorb and reflect on what you've done this year because you've done a lot. Your words have changed lives, and get rejuvenated and restored with your family and friends and get ready to conquer your path in 2025. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayward Writers.
Let's connect. Find us at waywardwriters.com, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
See you next time. Conquer your path.